Quick challenge. Before watching any further, try to answer this one question. Why do you run? Why do you run? Why do you run? Not the surface level answers like to stay fit or to lose weight, but the real, deeper reason that gets you out the door on cold mornings or after an exhausting day. Struggling to answer? You're not alone. In my 15 years of being in the running community, I found runners who can't articulate their why are 3 times more likely to quit within a year. But those who do discover it, they not only stick with running, they reach heights they never imagined possible. Today, I'm showing you exactly how to find your running why while walking you through a 3-step framework designed to help you uncover your deeper motivation. You'll be able to use this motivation to push through any performance plateau. Have you ever noticed how most runners begin their journey with incredible enthusiasm, only to find themselves 6 months later staring at their running shoes with dread? Yeah, we've all been there. The initial rush of excitement, the one that gets you up at 5 a.m. without hitting snooze, it gradually fades into something that feels more like an obligation than a passion. Maybe this is exactly where you're at now. If so, reach out and tell me about it in the comments down below as we continue on. We're gonna face that dread head on because I'm here to tell you it's not just happening to you. It's a universal pattern that affects virtually everyone who laces up running shoes. The cycle is predictable, yet powerful. When we first start running, everything feels possible. Each run brings noticeable improvements. We go farther, we feel stronger, maybe we drop a few pounds. Our phones fill with screenshots of our running apps as we proudly track our progress. But then something shifts. The improvements become less dramatic. The scale stops moving. The early morning alarm feels more painful than invigorating. What happened to that runner who couldn't wait to hit the pavement? What's fascinating is how this pattern affects even Olympic level athletes. Take Andy Baddeley, who reached the pinnacle of running by competing in the Olympics. Even he experienced dramatic motivational highs and lows throughout his career, eventually reaching a point where he stopped running completely. He's spoken on how the psychological wall he hit proved to be more challenging than any physical barriers he faced during competition. His experience highlights something crucial. No matter your ability level, your mental game often determines if you'll continue to run when that initial spark dies out. This challenge becomes even more intense when we experience something I call motivational bankruptcy. The point where the external rewards that initially drove us to run no longer provide enough return on our investment. Maybe you started running to lose weight or to improve your appearance. Those motivators worked wonderfully at first, but what happens when you've already lost 15 pounds? Or when the compliments on your new fitness level start to taper off? Suddenly, the 5 a.m. wake-up call seems like too high of a price to pay for diminishing returns. I started running out of boredom. At that point in my life, I was mostly a spin class guy, but I joined a new gym. And on that first day trying out that new club, I stood at the door of the spin class room. I remember thinking of it as an opportunity to try something new. Moments later, I looked across the floor and saw a row of treadmills. Flashing back to my teenage years, a memory hit me hard. One of my older sisters and her husband at the time were running a lot of ultras. During one of their 50-mile races, I ran my sister in the last mile or so. She had sprained her ankle, hobbling, but refusing to give in. I watched her cross the finish line. I remember how inspiring it was. I remember thinking someday I'm gonna do that. During the many years between that moment and me now standing in the new gym, not only had I not done an ultra, I'd never even tried running. That inspirational moment from my past suddenly became my why. It gave me a goal, it gave me direction. But even in that, within years, I still hit a wall. After numerous marathons, a run across California, dozens of ultras, I found myself struggling to get out the door for even a 30-minute run. Finishing a race to receive a medal? Yeah, that no longer inspired me. The running playlist that once energized me, now they irritated me. I tried every external motivational technique. New shoes, signing up for a race, running with friends. But nothing reignited that initial passion. I started questioning why I was running at all, which led to inconsistent training and eventually weeks without a run. But let me tell you, there's actually a neurological explanation for this motivation decline. Our brain's reward systems naturally adapt to repeated stimuli. The first time you complete a 5K, your brain floods with endorphins and dopamine. It's a genuine neurochemical celebration. But by the 20th 5K, that same distance no longer triggers the same reward response. The brain adapted, requiring a bigger challenge or a different type of reward to generate that same feeling. It's not that you've become lazy or uncommitted. Your brain is simply adjusted to the rewards that initially motivated you. So, what separates runners who push through this inevitable motivational plateau from those who hang up their shoes? The research points to something surprisingly simple, yet profound: understanding your why. My experience provides an illustrative example of this transformation. I began running, chasing that dream of completing an ultra. Within months, I accomplished it. So then what? I started challenging myself with different distances, races in parts of the world with varying climates. I started playing with speed. My why was initially to test my limits physically, but over time, my relationship with running has evolved. Now, while I still run for some of those very same reasons, I run almost daily because I genuinely love and enjoy it. Running connects me with a like-minded community and helps nurture not just my body, but my mental growth. My motivation transformed from external outcomes to internal fulfillment. But this shift from external to internal motivation doesn't happen automatically. Just as we need to exercise our bodies during the actual act of running, the shift happens through daily reflections on what running truly means to us. Why is running an important part of your life? The underground river of motivation that transforms casual joggers into lifelong runners, it's not found in new shoes or training plans. It's already flowing within you, waiting to be discovered. This evolution from external to internal motivation reveals a fascinating truth at the heart of every committed runner's journey. Your running shoes aren't just taking you somewhere physically. They're revealing who you truly are. The most resilient runners don't just find motivation, they uncover an identity that was waiting to be recognized all along. Let me share a 3-layer framework that can help you discover your authentic running identity. Picture it as an archaeological dig into your motivation. The surface layer contains those common reasons we all give for running: body improvement, stress relief, cardiovascular health. These are valid starting points, but often lack the staying power needed for lifelong commitment. The middle layer reveals your core values. What principles matter most to you that running supports? The deepest layer, the one we're after, is your running identity. The person you become when you lace up. I challenge you to push past those surface motivations and ask yourself what running genuinely reveals about who you are. When the alarm goes off at 5 a.m. and you choose the trails over your warm bed, what does that choice say about your character? When you struggle through that last mile, what strengths are you demonstrating? These answers contain the keys to sustainable motivation. As my early years of running added up, I quickly discovered running represented freedom and adventure to me. When I'm running, I feel most connected both geographically and mentally. It's as if I'm both deep in meditation and completely aware of my surroundings at the same time. Rarely it's about the races, more about the journey of discovery, of exploring the world around me. This connection to my core values, adventure and freedom, transforms each run from a workout to an expression of myself. Simon Sinek's mythology for discovering your why offers another powerful approach. Take his friends test. Ask people close to you what they notice about you when you talk about running. Their observations often reveal hidden motivations and patterns you might miss. Do they comment on how your eyes light up when describing a trail? How you seem most alive when recounting that challenging run? These reflections can illuminate motivations below your conscious awareness. I find the transformative power of connecting with my running identity in the ultra challenges I choose to jump into. When running 100 miles or more across an incredible location, often remote and off the grid, I find connection to nature and mindfulness that aligns with my soul like little else can. Some of my most difficult races became opportunities to express my core identity. Someone who finds meaning in perseverance and presence in nature. Understanding running identity archetypes can further clarify your authentic motivation. The explorer thrives on discovering new trails and experiences, valuing variety and adventure. The challenger lives to push limits, chasing personal bests and overcoming obstacles. The connector runs to build relationships, finds joy in community and shared experiences. The escapist uses running for meditation, seeking solitude and mental clarity. Identifying which archetype resonates with you creates a framework for motivation that outlasts any training cycle. Which do you think you are? Strictly one? Or maybe a blend of multiple? Let me know, I'd love to hear. Now, ready for a practical exercise? Try the 3 whys. Start with your surface motivation for running and ask yourself why 3 times. For example, why do I run? To improve my health. Why is improving my health important? Because I want to feel strong. Why do you want to feel strong? Because I value resilience and taking care of myself. This process peels back layers to reveal your core values and identity beneath the surface. Unlike identity-based motivation, outcome-based motivation, running to lose weight and improve race times, often falters when progress plateaus or external rewards diminish. When running becomes an expression of who you are, rather than something you do, it creates a psychological resilience against any setbacks. Value alignment and behavioral consistency becomes the foundation of your practice, making each run feel less like a chore and more like an expression of yourself. As our journey through the landscape of running motivation comes to a close, I'm reminded of what truly separates extraordinary runners from the rest. It's their relationship with why they run. Your running why breathes and evolves right alongside you. When running becomes an expression of who you are rather than something you do, you've discovered your sustainable fuel. So, what's your running why? Feel free to share it in the comments down below. I truly would love to hear it. And we can all learn from each other. How does your why transform your experience? And friends, as a reminder, all of my videos, from travel, adventure, health and wellness to men's style, they get posted in the Luxury of Adventure Premium Club on runwithryan.org first. I'd love it if you chose to support and join the community, or consider subscribing here on YouTube. You know the drill. Tap that button down below and give the video a like. I know you hear it all the time, but it truly does help the channel out. For more tips and suggestions, check out the videos right here. With an abundance of gratitude, thank you. Now, get out there and keep exploring your why. I'll see you in the next one.